Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to study about pollination and also I am going to share answers about the questions I asked you like a quiz in the previous video. Now let's start. The framework first question. The framework of bones is called a skeleton. The answer is true. Second question is the backbone is made up of 33 small bones. The answer is true. And the third one is the bones of limbs are short. The answer is false. The bones of limbs are long. Fourth, the humor is also known as thigh bone. No, it is answer is false because humor is not known as thigh bone. Fifth question is the sternum is present at the center of the chest region. The answer is true. This question I asked you in the previous video. I asked you these questions. Now let's start. First of all, we will see the parts of the flower. First, we will see calyx, then corolla, androecium, and gynecium. These are also called the four rolls of a flower. The stalk of a flower is called the pedicel. The swollen end of the pedicel is called the thalamus. Let us study about the different parts of the flower. First, calyx. The outermost roll of a flower is called the calyx. It contains a set of green leaves-like structure called sepals. These may be 5 or more sepals in a flower. Then the second is corolla. Functions of the calyx are the main functions of the sepals is to protect the flowers in the bud stage. They can also prepare food for the plant. Corolla. The second roll of a flower is called a corolla. It generally consists of a ring or bright colored leaf-like structure called petals. Its function is, since petals are generally brightly colored, they attract insects. That helps in pollination. They may also produce different scents to attract insects towards the flower. Now we will read androecium. The third row of a flower is the androecium. It is the collection of stamens. Each stamen has a long slender stalk called filament. An anther is present at the tips of a stamen. Anther produces dust-like particles called pollen grains. Pollen grains contain the male gametes or the male reproductive cells. Functions. The stamen is male reproductive unit of a flower. Stamens of the flower are collectively called androecium. Now we will read gynecium. The gynecium is usually located at the center of the flower. It is also the collection of the female reproductive units called the carpels or pistil. A, gyne- a gynecium A gynecium may consist of a single pistil or a group of pistil. A pistil has 3 parts: stigma, style, and ovary. First, we will read stigma. Stigma is the sticky swollen tip of the pistil. It's responsible for receiving the pollen grains. Style. It's a thin, long tube-like structure that connects the stigma to the ovary. Ovary is the swollen base of the pistil. It contains ovules. The ovules contains the egg or the female gametes. Some people ask that how fruit grows from a flower. The answer is that ovary present in a pistil has ovules that contain eggs, or in many days it forms seeds, and ovary forms fruit. Now we read the function. After fertilization, the ovary forms the fruit of the plants, whereas the ovules form the seeds. See. Now we will read bisexual and monosexual. Flowers. All flowers may not contain both male and female reproductive parts on the basis of presence on the basis of presence of one or both reproductive parts. Now, we will first read bisexual. Let's read it. Let's study. First, we will see bisexual flowers. This is a photo of bisexual flower. These flowers contain both male and female reproductive parts, stamen and pistil of the plant. They are also called complete flowers. Tulip, rose and hibiscus are some examples of bisexual flowers. Now we will read the label in the photo. First, stamen. Stamen contains anther and filament. Then sepals. Then ovules. Then ovary. Then style. Then stigma, and then petal. Now we will read monosexual flowers. This is a photo of monosexual flowers. These flowers contain either male reproductive parts, stamen, or the female reproductive part, pistil, of the plant. They are also called incomplete flowers. Flowers of watermelon, pumpkin, cucumber, and papaya are some examples of monosexual flowers. Now we are going to read about the actual pollination. This is a photo of pollination. Pollination is the first step in process of seed formation. The male reproductive cells or gametes are present in pollen grains that are inside the anther. The female reproductive cells or gametes are present in ovules contained in the ovary. Both the male and female gametes must come in and contact with each other for reproduction to take place. When the anthers mature, they split open and the pollen grains are set free. The pollen grains may fall on stigma of the same flower in case of bisexual flowers. They may also carried stigma another flower belonging to the same kind of the different agents of the pollination. You will think, what means by agents? Some example of agents are like wind, honeybees, etc. insects and birds. They suck pollen grains, and they also suck in other flowers. In this, they take pollen grains from one place to other place. This is the main process of pollination. They are the main agents of the pollination. Now we will read the two types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. First, we will read self-pollination. First, we will read self-pollination. When the pollen grains from the anther of one flower fall into the same anther of the flower present on the same plant. This process is called self-pollination. Self-pollination is commonly seen in pea plants. Now we will read about we will learn about cross pollination. This is a picture of cross pollination. When pollen grains from anther of the one flower are transferred to the stigma of another flower present on a different plant of the same kind. The process is called cross pollination. Cross pollination occurs in most flowering plants. This way, the two types of the pollination. Now we will have some fun. I am going to ask you a question. It would be a wonderful quiz. Yay! Comment me answers. My first question is brightly colored scented leaf-like structure that attract insects toward the flower. My second question is dust-like particles that contain the male reproductive cells of a plant. The third question is flower that contains both male and female reproductive parts. And the fourth question is transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. Like previously, now also I will share answers with you in my next video. You can comment me your answers. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and also click on bell sign so that you can see my new uploading videos.